and welcome to the most extreme podcast in professional wrestling today. This is Extreme Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Ryan Arnold, and joining me is James Dew. How are you doing, James?
Oh, man. It's pronounced dough, just let you know.
All right, anyway, today we're going to be talking about our picks for Money in the Bank, which is tomorrow, and stuff that happened on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and AEW. So let's start with our picks for Money in the Bank, starting with two matches that have been announced. One being on the pre-show, Jeff Hardy versus Cesaro. James, who do you pick to win this match?
Man, just be honest, in this type of situation right here, you're going to have to give it to Jeff Hardy just because of him coming back. But don't be surprised if Sheamus gets involved in this match or after the match.
Yeah, that's true. But I would agree. I will say Jeff Hardy will win this match, but I do expect this match to be a slugfest and aerial assault type of match, because due to the fact that both are kind of aerial in some cases. But I do agree Jeff Hardy will get the win in this one. The next one, obviously the last one that was announced, R-Truth versus MVP. James?
Most randomest match ever been added. There's been more random matches added, so yeah. But I'm going to give this to MVP because I think if it's true, if MVP is starting a stable, you're going to need him to, go up a little bit more than what he is now instead of being a jobber.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with you on that, but I also feel like R-Truth might get the win in this one. So we're kind of split on that end. But I kind of would agree with you on that. I could almost, if it were in that way, I would say MVP. But I think my pick would be R-Truth. Now we get to some Money in the Bank ladder matches, and the reason we're gonna go and do them at the same time is because both matches will be happening at the same time. So on the men's side, we got Aleister Black, Rey Mysterio, AJ Styles, Daniel Bryan, King Corbin, and Otis. And then on the women's match, we have Shayna Baszler, Nia Jax, Asuka, Carmella, Dana Brooke, and Lacey Evans. Now, in this one, I figured I want to do something kind of different. We will have Dark Horse picks and then our actual picks for this match. And what I mean by Dark Horse picks, that might be one or two, multiple people we think could potentially win the match. So James, who would be your Dark Horse picks for both matches?
Also let everybody else know is that, remember, this match is happening at WWE headquarters, so it's the most unique ladder match ever.
Forgot to mention that.
Because in order for them to win the match, they have to go from the bottom floor all the way up to the roof of WWE headquarters, which was supposed to move from before this whole pandemic happened, but
yes,
now.
But it's in. And if anybody was wondering where that's at, it's in Stamford, Connecticut.
Yep.
So yeah, continue with your Dark Horse picks.
My Dark Horse for the men's would be Aleister Black, because I think that if he's going to get that push, I'm feeling that he's getting a push sooner or later. I think him holding the briefcase is going to make it a little bit more interesting with him.
Yeah, I agree with you on that as well. But I'd also add Otis to that in some way.
If they could find a ladder that can hold Otis.
Yeah. Yeah.
For the women's one Dark Horse, I would say Asuka. Because how she kind of reinvented herself, being heel and the Kabuki Warrior stuff, and then basically what the hell she's doing nowadays.
Yeah, she's kind of one of those, like a tweener at some points. Like, she is like the coolest thing going on right now on Raw when it comes to the women's division. But yeah, I agree with you on her. It was either her or Nia Jax or something, or even Lacey Evans. Those three could be.
I think the only reason why I wouldn't say Lacey Evans is just that fact of, Lacey, been getting that opportunity, but I don't think they would want to basically have her have that Money in the Bank with her continue on her feud with Bayley.
Yeah. Like I said, my picks for it, the dark horse for me, obviously Alistair is. We would agree on that easily, and like I said, Otis for me, and then women's, it is basically the same. Asuka, kind of Lacey Evans, and to some extent Nia Jax. But anyway, our actual picks. You go.
Actual pick, I would give it to AJ Styles. I would have said Alistair. I would have said Alistair Black would have won if they didn't do the whole situation with
Apollo.
Apollo. With Apollo not being in the match and basically AJ Styles basically returning.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. I'd give it to probably AJ because who else is gonna win it? And your women's.
Women's gonna have to be Shayna Baszler just because of the fact that they continue on the feud with Becky.
Yeah, basically, yeah.
And basically, this is gonna be it's gonna be a way for her to get back into that championship opportunity. I'm sorry, cut you off.
Yeah. We both, you and me agree on men's and women's on who's winning it easily. There's no one in the women's match that I can see winning it except for Shayna. That's just how I see it. Now we get to the world title matches. We start with the WWE Championship match between champion Drew McIntyre and the challenger, the Monday Night Messiah, Seth Rollins. James, who you got in this one?
Let's say this. Let's say if this was a normal situation, if Drew McIntyre did not receive the ovation that McMahon was wanting, I would have said that Rollins would have won the title. But because of the circumstance, I think they're going to keep this title on Drew McIntyre until they have like a crowd. Because honestly, Drew McIntyre deserved a long title reign.
Yeah, easily.
And taking the title off of him now would be a big mistake.
Exactly. Yeah, I agree with you on that. It's way too early for me. That with Drew dropping it to Seth this early would just be ridiculous. So I do agree. Drew McIntyre would win this one. Next, we got the Universal Championship between Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt. Not the Fiend. Who do you got?
Now, if this was the Fiend, then I would have said Bray Wyatt would have won.
Yeah, easily.
But because this is not the Fiend, this is going to have to go to Strowman.
Yeah.
Just to the fact that, going into Bray Wyatt is trying to do the mind games like he's been doing with anybody that he's been in the feud with since the whole
return last year. Last year. Coming back last year, basically.
But because that, Bray Wyatt looks like he's not, getting that mind game being on. So I just believe that in this situation, it's gonna stick with
Strowman for a little bit longer. Yeah, and I think it will build up. I do agree. Strowman will retain this, and this will probably build up to him having to face The Fiend, who will then pretty much beat him and regain the Universal Championship, basically.
Yep.
So in this case, I'm saying I agree with Strowman winning it. Now, this one's going to be an interesting one for the two of us. The SmackDown Women's Championship between champion Bayley and the challenger Tamina. Who do you got?
Ooh, man, that's fun. This is a fun one. This is hard to predict on this.
Yeah.
My pick will be Bayley because of this situation. I think they're going to keep the title on Bayley for a good while until SummerSlam, in which Sasha, I'm going to say this, Sasha is going to turn on Bayley, or Bayley turns on Sasha. Whoever's going to be the heel, Sasha is going to win the championship from Bayley.
Yeah. I was a little bit conflicted on this match for me. But I thought long and hard on this one. And I can see what you're saying going with it, but that would be, for me, that would be way too predictable. So I would like to see Tamina. I'm picking Tamina in this one. I would like to see her win the title. I know that, yes, that whole Bayley Sasha match is what they're trying to build up, and it's way, for me, it's freaking predictable. It's as predictable as, like, say, Brock Lesnar, Roman Reigns at WrestleMania 31. Like, that's too predictable. We know who's going to win that match at that point. So I figured, why not throw in a curveball on the way to that and have Tamina win it?
Well, and that's the thing is that, everybody's been saying that Tamina deserved a title run.
Yeah.
And I agree with it. But in my honest opinion, I don't think McMahon will ever give the title to Tamina.
I kind of agree with you on that, but then again, like I said, that Bayley Sasha match is so predictable that they're building up to that and stuff that it's just, I figured I wanted to pick Tamina on that one. Next one we got is the SmackDown Tag Team Championship with the New Day defending their titles against the recently debuted Forgotten Sons, the Lucha House Party, and Miz and Morrison. Your pick.
Ooh. Honestly, it's a coin toss for me. I'm going to say they're going to take the title off of New Day, but they're going to give it to the Forgotten Sons. Just because of this fact. Usos are supposed to be in this feud continuing, but somebody got hurt. One of the Usos got hurt again.
Yeah.
So in this situation, I'm going to have to say that it's going to be. I'm going to give it to the Forgotten Sons. I think they deserve a title run, and even though it's early, I think they're going to get it.
Yeah, for me, I got the New Day in this one only because I think from the Forgotten Sons, I do think they are going to win it down the road, but I think it's way too soon. Like, I feel like they could win it at SummerSlam. Like, I feel like they could win it by then. I think, okay, then having them win it at SummerSlam, that would make more sense. But them winning it here as shortly as they just debuted, I don't think that them winning it is in the cards. I just don't think it's too soon. So I'm picking the New Day in this case. Or hell, maybe even Miz and Morrison. But either way, it might be building up to the Forgotten Sons winning it at SummerSlam.
Honestly, if I didn't think Forgotten Son winning, I would have said Miz and Morrison gets the title again, even though I don't want that to happen.
But then again, like you said, either one of those two can carry a good match with that team and put them over strongly. Regardless of who it is, the Forgotten Sons, for me, can win it at SummerSlam.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, them winning it at Money in the Bank is too soon. Maybe SummerSlam or maybe a little bit after Money in the Bank or something like that would be the right time or something. But them winning it at Money in the Bank, for me, is a little bit too soon. So I am going with New Day in this case. So yeah, there's our predictions. Now we get into the shows this past week. We start with Raw. And the last chance gauntlet match that saw Bobby Lashley dominating the early part of it, beating, I don't know who was on that beginning part. I know there was Akira Tozawa, Titus O'Neil, Akira Tozawa, Shelton Benjamin were there before he got himself disqualified on purpose against, assuming returning Humberto Carrillo, who then went on to eliminate Angel Garza and Austin Theory, who originally had Apollo got not injured or AJ not returning, I would have said Austin Theory would have won the gauntlet match and he could have ended up winning the Money in the Bank briefcase. So I'm saying whoever would have won the gauntlet match is going to win the briefcase, basically. And then before Humberto getting eliminated by AJ Styles, who then cut a promo. And in that promo, he said he was going to throw off anybody, whether it be Rey Mysterio or Aleister Black. And both end up responding to him with Aleister at one point saying, "You had better pray that I don't get back up. Because if I do, I forgot. But all I know is if he better pray that Aleister Black does not get back up after being thrown off the top of the headquarters." But your thoughts on that?
Let's say this. We all know it. I think once this was announced, everybody was saying, "Oh, somebody's going to get thrown off. Somebody's going to get thrown off the roof of the building." And there's been reports that somebody's going to get thrown off the roof. They just don't tell us who is getting thrown off the roof, but somebody is. And in this situation, it's like, when you say Austin Theory, to me, I think Austin Theory is too soon of a push because of the fact that he just came from Evolve like a few months ago to WWE and then jumped from NXT for like a few weeks and then jumped to Raw just because of I forgot who got Andrade being hurt.
Yeah.
Carrillo, honestly, I could have seen him win and go on to Money in the Bank, but when you see Styles, like yeah, AJ Styles, just because he got buried, yeah, and then he just comes back.
Yeah.
And I think Carrillo, could go back into fighting for the U.S. Championship because that's a feud that hasn't really, was done.
That's been on and off for quite some time.
On and off, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I think that's going to be something that's going to happen. AJ Styles say he's going to throw somebody. That's going to be predictable. Somebody is going off that building. I don't know about who, but somebody's going off that building.
Yeah. Yeah, easily. Yeah, like I said, the Austin Theory thing, yeah, I know. But then you could have him win that Money in the Bank, but he could cash that in months, maybe a year down the road, He's not saying cash it in right freaking now or something like that, but maybe a few months down the road, you still want to build him up and stuff like that. Then when you feel like he's a high enough level of the card, then have him cash it and boom.
But honestly, with Austin Theory, I'm sorry to do this, but Austin Theory, he's with Andrade and Angel Garza.
Yeah.
Do you want to build tension within that faction if you have Austin Theory win the briefcase and basically go on to win the title? That's what I just don't think would be possible. I don't think that's a logical reason. That's why.
Well, obviously he keeps saying, like I've seen interviews him say, he's going to be a future world champion in WWE. He's got the look. He's got the charisma. He's got the mic skills easily to be a top guy there in WWE in the future. Easily. So it's like, and he's what, 22 years old?
He was the face of Evolve for a point in time when he was with Evolve.
Exactly. And he was relatively in his late teens when he was their champion.
Mm-hmm.
But I can agree with you on that, but I feel like it might have been interesting to have him on that one. And then we'll see. What's the last Raw thing we have on here is the non-title tag team match between Street Profits and the Viking Raiders, which saw the Viking Raiders.
We're not supposed to say non-title. Shh. That's a bad word, apparently.
Not non-title. Okay. We had a tag team match. Sorry. We had a tag team match between the Raw Tag Team Champions, Street Profits, against the Viking Raiders, in which we saw the Viking Raiders pin the Street Profits. Thoughts?
Predictable, honestly. I'm surprised this match isn't on Money in the Bank, because I think this is a match that they could, basically have for the tag team titles, but I think they want to save it on for the next one, because in this situation, it's more of Viking Raiders coming out. I don't know why they decided to do freaking stupid car karaoke, but I'm glad they dropped that after 1 week and went back to what they did.
In NXT, basically, be serious for a time.
Be serious. But they say that Street Profits never beat them. That's actually true. I watch a lot of NXT.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
And they're right with the fact that they had to drop the belts because they went up to the main roster. And
exactly. Yeah. I was saying when that all happened, I was thinking, Undisputed Era is winning the titles. But then when I saw that the Street Profits were winning, I'm like, what?
Well, they won that in a freaking ladder match. I'm like, wow.
I was like, well, that's a curve. That's a curveball right there. I'm like, wow.
Yeah. But, and the Street Profits was actually on Raw at the time that they won the NXT Tag Team titles.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But in this situation, I think it's like they gave the Viking Raiders the win just to set up a tag team match in the future, and that it's either going to be Viking Raiders win the titles back, or Street Profits somehow wins out of nowhere.
Yeah, easily. Okay, let's get straight into this one. AEW got a few key moments here for AEW. We start off with the John Moxley and Brody Lee confrontation, which happened shortly after Moxley had pinned Frankie Kazarian in the bad word.
Well, you could say because it's not WWE related.
Yeah, the non-title match. And so the Dark Order beat up on Moxley. Brody Lee issued a challenge to Moxley for the AEW World Title, and in Moxley's way, he accepted, which could lead him to a World Title match between the two. Thoughts?
It is going to lead it because that was confirmed for Double or Nothing in 2 weeks. In this case, I am surprised that they are giving Brody Lee this title shot. Even, I thought they would have given it to MJF. I thought MJF was going to get a title shot.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're giving it to Dark Order.
Yeah.
To Brody Lee is kind of surprising. Or I was even thinking that they were going to give it to Jericho. But
yeah.
But I guess Jericho's still continuing on with his feud with the Elite.
Yeah, basically. With Matt Hardy in tow, practically.
Wonderful.
Yes! On to another championship in AEW, the TNT title, which will also be happening at Double or Nothing, which will be between the Murder Hawk, Lance Archer, and the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. Thoughts?
You knew that was going to happen once Jake the Snake Robert came out and told Cody right to his face that he got somebody that he's going to go that's going to come after him. You knew that was going to happen. And it's for a new championship that just created for, I guess that's their version of the television title. So
yeah, pretty much.
I'm curious how that belt looks, but it'd be better than the WWE Tag Team titles on WWE.
Yeah. And also, this match also has several feuds going on. Not just Lance Archer and Cody, but this is just, the Rhodes family in general, which also includes Brandy Rhodes and Jake the Snake Roberts. And also, that kind of led to, at the end of, somewhere near the end of that segment, saw Jake the Snake Roberts put a snake on Brandy, and I saw, the snake biting Brandy.
Well, I don't think the snake bit Randy, but what happened was Lance Archer fought QT Marshall, who is the team with Dustin.
Basically a nutshell squash match. Basically,
afterward, Dr. Britt Baker, which I'm sorry, she's doing her dentist gimmick, but don't do the role model because that's Bailey's gimmick. I'm sorry. I mean, people are going to say, oh, that's not the same thing as Bailey. They say role model. Hello? She's just doing it with the dentist.
Yeah. Yeah, if you want her to do that role, put the freaking AEW Women's title on her.
Exactly. And then basically what happened was Britt Baker beat up Brandy, put Brandy into the ring, and basically Jake do his typical Jake the Snake Robert moves, put the snake on Brandy, which it leads up to
that TNT title match.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. And then we got the last thing, the most interesting thing that has happened all week long. The AEW, the tag team street fight match between Jericho and Sammy Guevara, the Sex God, versus Kenny Omega, and making his AEW in-ring debut, Matt Hardy. Now, this match was pretty entertaining. It even led to a meme, basically, where Kenny and Matt are chasing Sammy Guevara in a medical cart, not a golf cart. Get it right. It's a medical cart.
You could call it a golf cart.
It's a golf cart, but the proper term is medical cart. And eventually they run him over, and they run over Jericho as well. And the match ended with basically the other goons in Inner Circle, Hager and Santana Ortiz, coming to help their Inner Circle brethren, and it led to Sammy Guevara and Chris Jericho winning the match. Your thoughts?
Honestly, in this situation, I could have think they could have gave the match to Hardy and Omega since it was Matt Hardy's first match. I think it'd be better for Matt Hardy to win a match before him losing. But, it's Inner Circle. That's the top heel team. They want to give them the push. And, it's still... And remember, this is still leading up to whenever they decide to do Blood and Guts. Because remember, they have to have Blood and Guts sometime soon down the line.
Yeah. Yeah, easily. That War Games match of theirs, basically. I from what I've seen, it looked like a great match. Had some moments that were pretty cool and stuff like that.
Again, it made a meme.
Yeah, like I said, that meme, basically, I've done some that I might post about them later on. But anyway, we got to move on. We got NXT now, same night as AEW. We have Killer Cross, a.k.a. repackaged as Karrion Kross, because I'm assuming they can't use bad words in WWE. And
PG.
Yeah, PG. and Scarlett Bordeaux repackaged as just Scarlett, debuting on NXT, and basically he beats a no name guy and he wins. Thoughts on this?
Fun fact: the referee of that match, her boyfriend that got squashed. But anyway, I've heard WWE has high hopes for Cross. I'm just gonna call it Cross, even though I'm used to calling Killer Cross.
Yeah.
But I've heard there have been lots of reports that WWE was very interested in him since he got released in Impact, and the fact that they finally got him, they're gonna try to push him to the moon. He could be the next
NXT World.
NXT
easily.
champion.
Oh yeah, easily.
Honestly, with Cross, I thought he was going to go against Gargano and
Ciampa.
Those
two. Yeah, going against Gargano and Candice LeRae. They might at some point, but I think it'd probably be way too early.
No, but you saw the only reason why I consumed that was because if you saw at the end of the Gargano Ciampa rivalry, that match that posted and everything.
Oh yeah, the car and had both Scarlett and they were in the car. Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm surprised they didn't go after Gargano and LeRae, but it is what it is.
Yeah. When I first saw the big nip for him, I'm like, yes. But I knew he was going to go to WWE just as soon as they got Scarlett and stuff. Like, oh, he's going to WWE. He's not going to leave it. He's not going to leave his girlfriend all alone there.
Yeah, unlike Adam Cole.
Yeah, unlike Adam Cole, stuff like that. Okay, the next thing when it comes to NXT, the NXT Women's Championship between Charlotte and Io Shirai, which ended in a DQ win for Io, but Charlotte retained. And this led to Charlotte was beating up on Io, which at some point Rhea Ripley, who hadn't been seen since WrestleMania 36, don't know why WWE forgot the numbers, coming back and beating the living crap out of Charlotte.
Thoughts on this? How many WrestleManias has Rhea Ripley been in? That's the true question.
Yeah, she's been in one, WrestleMania 36. WWE, start numbering your WrestleManias again. What's wrong with you?
They just don't put in the logo. But anyway, going to this one, honestly, I thought what I've heard from reports, I thought that Rhea Ripley was supposed to be away for a good while because of her visa, but her appearing back after basically after a while, it proves that that report was false. But this is going to lead to a triple threat. But I'm sorry, I don't think Charlotte should have won the championship. I think they should have done this Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley alone, and not put Charlotte in it. Because Charlotte ruins everything.
Yeah. Oh, because they wanted to try and boost the rate. Well, I get why they want to put the title on Charlotte, just to help boost her age with their war with AEW.
But Charlotte is not the right person to boost ratings. If you want to boost ratings, do what y'all did with the whole invasion thing during SummerSlam weekend. Yeah, that'd be improving ratings right there.
Yeah. Easily. But I see this could lead to either a Charlotte Flair Rhea Ripley rematch, possibly at SummerSlam, with Rhea winning it, or like you said, the triple threat match or something like that. And then
this won't be SummerSlam. This will most likely be NXT Takeover, whatever. Because SummerSlam, we gotta talk about that later on.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about that later on. The other NXT thing, the last one on here we got, is the NXT title match between the Velveteen Dream and Adam Cole, in which Adam Cole ended up winning this via shenanigans with help from his Undisputed Era brethren. Your thoughts on this?
Well, it's not just the Undisputed Era brethren. There is one more person you forgot.
Oh, yeah, the Loomis guy.
Do you remember who Dexter Loomis is?
Crap, I forgot what his name was in Impact.
Uh-huh.
Shit. I know who he is from Impact, but I forgot what he was called at the time.
Shaw.
Oh, yeah, Shaw. Yeah, Shaw. Yeah, it's Shaw. Thank you. Yeah, Shaw also costing the Dream the title.
But here is why. If this was a normal circumstances, Velveteen Dream would be walking here right now as the NXT Championship. But I think the only reason why they didn't put the title on him is because there is a controversy going on with Velveteen Dream right now, in which somebody's alleging that he sent explicit
that is
photos
true
to minors. If that wasn't happening, Velveteen Dream would be the champion right now because he deserves
he would
that
be.
championship.
But because of that BS, he isn't the champion right now.
Now, the question becomes, what the heck are they going to do with Dexter Loomis? Is this going to lead into a triple threat match for the title, or is this mean something else? Because
I think it could lead to a program with Loomis and the Dream facing each other at a takeover. But that's as much as I can see it.
I think this would also lead to a triple threat because honestly, who would you put as Adam Cole's next opponent for the championship unless you want to put Finn Balor in? Because even though Finn Balor supposed to have a feud with Walter, the whole stuff in the UK is kind of like shut down.
Yeah, either him, Gargano, Ciampa.
Well,
it would be too soon to mention Cross right now. It'd be too soon to mention him.
What? No, but going into this takeover, it's going to be Cross and Ciampa.
Yeah.
Gargano's a heel. He's not gonna be in it. He's not gonna be in it.
No. He won't. Unless they can find a third guy to get in there and they could have a triple threat.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
No, but they're not gonna. I don't think they're going to do it because remember what Triple H said. It must end at that match.
Yeah, with that one last match, and when it's over, it is over.
Yeah, so I don't think they would put.
They will put Gargano. Maybe Dream, maybe, or some other baby face guy.
They're gonna put Dexter Loomis with Dream and Cole.
Yeah, I would agree. Next, we now come to the SmackDown side of things, where we have who is the hacker or hackers. Thoughts, James?
I want to hear your thoughts first, because actually,
I think from hearing a lot of things about who this could be, I think it could be a tag team with Ali and Gable, stirring stuff up within the rosters, especially with some of the women's stuff as well, as kind of the hacker thing did play into the Otis, Mandy, DeVille, Ziggler storyline. But I think it's to potentially have those two come back, because we haven't seen those two in quite a while. And a lot of people are also saying it could be a third guy, and some are saying it's Woods, and I'm like, why would they have Woods in there? Other than the fact they do show the New Day and stuff like that, but I'm like, why would they have Woods be one of those guys?
Well, Woods is out with an injury, and he's been out with with a torn Achilles. So he wouldn't be the hacker. I would agree with Ali and Shorty G. I'm sorry, have to call her Shorty.
Yeah, I think they might just go back with it
I
being
think
Mustafa
they
Ali
might
and Chad
they
Gable.
might they might add a woman to that just because of the women's factor, but you never know.
Who would if they were to have a woman? Who would it be? That's
That's a good question, honestly. Because really, how many women do you have in a roster unless they got called up an NXT lady?
okay. But, well, they said something. Maybe they showed some of the women, the divas and women.
But they
like
also
they Sasha.
They also had a voicemail saying payback is coming, so that could be involving the clue, and you don't know what the clue is, so it could be anything with that clue. But I do want to point this out before we continue on. Mm-hmm. It is not CM Punk unless WWE is willing to pay him all that money.
Yeah, a lot of money.
And Punk agrees to bury the hatchet with this doctor who is still with WWE. He is not coming back. It ain't Punk. Don't say AJ Lee. None of that. I've heard a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, it ain't either of those two. But yeah, I could see it being a lead due to the fact that it has that circular thing.
Yeah, the
and it could also be the circle kind of gives it away basically that it is Ali, and it could also be Chad Gable. And I hope they just have him be renamed back to Chad Gable. I'm kind of sick of Shorty G at this point.
I know, right?
Like that, it pisses me off that they give a guy who is kind of your next gen Kurt Angle, and you have him with a name like Shorty G. What the hell?
They don't even give him good matches like they would do with Angle.
They did do a good thing with him in like the King of the Ring tournament. Yeah, like they would push him to be the one that lost to King Corbin.
I mean, that's the closest push he would get, besides being a tag team pushers.
Yeah. I think it's just repackaging, bring him back as Chad Gable and Mustafa Ali, and have them come back. I don't know how, maybe in the Fatal 4-Way Tag Team match, something like that.
No, they're gonna make their appearance later down the road. It's not gonna be soon.
Yeah. And next thing we got on the SmackDown is, obviously this has to do with the Universal Championship match, Strowman and Wyatt confrontation, which they were going on about Bray saying that he created Braun saying to him, "You don't know me," yada, yada, yada. And near the end, it was like Bray Wyatt handing him the Black Sheep mask, and all the puppets were saying, "Come back home, Braun," and all that. But he basically, if I can remember, he was saying, "Bray, I am home." And I know he said something about the Universal Championship. And then left the ring. And, well, before he left the ring, he said, "Bye-bye, see you later." Like how Bray would usually end it and all that stuff. And Bray said, "I tried, Braun. I tried. I'm sorry. I tried." Thoughts?
It just goes on to the mind games aspect of Bray Wyatt, because again, I mentioned this in the Universal title prediction. It's the fact that Bray Wyatt, when he goes to any feud, it goes with Seth Rollins, goes with Cena, goes with Goldberg and all that stuff. He's trying to get into the mind games. He's doing kind of the Taker-ish, but but a different way.
Yeah.
So he's just basically going into what he does, and again, I have money to make. It's not going to work because of the fact that he's going as him and not the Fiend.
Yeah, and this could, like I said, potentially lead to Braun Strowman versus the Fiend, where the Fiend will go over and regain the Universal Championship. In a nutshell, pretty much. We come to the last thing for SmackDown, which is the Mandy Rose Sonya Deville match that saw Deville winning it. Thoughts?
It's just, again, it starts the feud. They're going to give the heel a couple of the wins here and there, but overall, Mandy's going to get her revenge. But right now, it's just, and the fact, again, the feud just started back up. So this is the first time that these two has been with each other, since they joined up together as Absolution.
Yeah, with Paige.
With Paige. So in this situation, I think it's more of Mandy's going to get her vengeance later on, but right now they're going to give some of that wins to Sonya.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that 100%. And we come to basically the last topic, which is WWE in general. The situation with SummerSlam, where that could be potentially not happening there in Boston and all of that. Thoughts?
Man, it's just because the mayor's put out a tweet that he didn't want any festivals or stuff like that until after
Labor Day. Yeah.
Because of this whole BS type stuff, which we don't want to mention, but it's just the fact
exactly.
And I think it's more of they're going to find a new area. It's going to be in Florida because again, Florida is opening up more and basically allowing them to do
more places.
I wouldn't say they would want to do it in a big place. They're going to do most likely in a small place. They might do some auditorium, basically, or maybe the performance center. But I think, honestly, in a general, I'm going to go with the general WWE. It's ratings for Raw sucks right now. But I think it's just more of the fact that people are turned off on the fact that they're still doing these crowdless shows.
Yeah.
If you want,
they could do something like AEW is doing, which you could have some of your wrestlers or employees in the crowd. They could be doing that.
But the thing is that in WWE's case, they could just grab some of the NXT fans that usually come every show, like Izzy, the girl that loves Bailey's a lot, and a couple other people, and just bring them to the performance centers. Here, be our crowd. You don't have to have a big crowd. 25 people, regular people. Cheer.
Yeah, easily. They could do something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess on that bombshell, this is the end of our debut episode. You got any thoughts before we leave, James?
It's just the first episode. We gotta get this, rolling a little bit more. But I enjoy this.
All right, and with that, we will see you next week. Later.